And as Nate was just saying, look, if anyone watching tonight is surprised when America stands alone, well, you haven't been paying attention. Now, of course, as usual, liberals claim that Trump is the reason that any alliances are frayed. Well, that is a joke. The truth is, since at least 1950 or so, America hasn't really led a coalition in its purest form. Historically, European countries only stepped up when they believed it was beneficial for them to do so. The German chancellor said today that the war needs to end, but that is not going to get involved. In fact, Merz argued that this isn't even a NATO matter at all. And our great friends, the Brits, they're also a no-go.
Our priority is always the national interest. We will protect our people in the region while taking the necessary action to defend ourselves and our allies. We will not be drawn into the wider war.
As usual, they don't need to take out their wallets or risk any political heat at home, especially with the burgeoning Muslim population in the UK, because in the end, they know the United States will remedy the problem, make the region safer, and pick up the tab.
When I hear the UK, which was sort of considered the Rolls-Royce of allies, right? When you say they were the oldest and they were going to be there, and I say it would be really helpful if you'd send over a couple of ships, and if you have some minesweepers, which they do, it'd be very helpful. And the Prime Minister's a nice man. He says, well, I'd like to ask my team. I said, you don't have to worry about a team. You don't have a team. You're the Prime Minister. You can make a decision. It's very disappointing.
Well, all this proves is that President Trump was right all along about these friends. Well, they're friends who took advantage of us for about 80 years.
I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away, separated by a vast ocean. We don't have to do that, but we did it.
Well, he's right. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, EU nations begged us for an alliance because they were worried that Putin wouldn't stop in Ukraine. They needed Daddy's wallet and Daddy's munitions. But for decades before that, those same countries had also been free-riding on the backs of our military and our taxpayers. It was only when Donald Trump called them out to their faces for their failure to meet their NATO military requirements did they begin to contribute more to their own defense. And they pay, but they do so grudgingly. And some of them still aren't paying up. Now, you've heard of sham marriages. This has been a sham alliance. Sure, like when we're defending them for free, while at the same time allowing them to take bigger and bigger shares of our market, well, of course they're going to like us then. Europe loved running circles around a weak Joe Biden, and they loved hearing Obama apologize for America every time he seemed to speak overseas. I was thinking about it today. I think you should think about it this way. If you're the guy who goes into a bar alone every weekend and buys everyone drinks, well, sure enough, you become pretty popular. But what happens when you show up one week and expect others to pick up the tab at the bar? Well, suddenly all your fake friends can't find their wallets. Well, under Biden and Obama, we weren't leading an alliance. We were the rich guys trying to pay people to be our friends. But in the end, who's better off? The kid who pays for friends or the kid who knows the truth?
We have some that are really enthusiastic. They're coming already. They've already started to get there. It takes a little while to get there. I assume some will not do it. I think we have one or two that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years at, tens of billions of dollars, Mr. Speaker. So I'll be reporting that to you in the House and the Senate. And I'll say, why are we protecting countries that don't protect us?
Thank you. Again, Trump's been saying this for years. And day after day, week after week, it turns out he's right about this. Otherwise, they would be helping now. Although Trump is annoyed, of course, like when Keir Starmer, Macron, Frederick Merz, don't do the right thing. He doesn't let it stop him from doing what's right for us.
I had an obligation to do this. I didn't want to, I call it an excursion. I didn't want to make this journey. We had the highest stock market in history, but that's a very small thing compared to allowing them to have. You want to see a stock market go down? Start letting them hit you with nukes. If they had that bomb at either time, 5 years ago or 7 months ago, if they had that bomb would have been used almost immediately.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.